We've made it to Friday, October 23rd, 2020. Well, there's no turning back, folks. The Arctic Express is on cue, and nothing's going to hold it back. Once an Arctic front has the right pattern to move south, Arctic air is dense, it's heavy, it gets a lot of momentum because of that density, and once it starts to move, you're just not going to change the forecast. So no turning back, it's coming. It's going to be chilly today in many areas, but today is a little bit of a break. Thankfully, the winds will be down considerably today. That's going to help out with the fire situation in Colorado, but it is going to be kind of chilly, especially east of the divide. West of the divide, that cold air did not get in. Now, it's going to be windy for a period of time ahead of the Arctic front tomorrow. So that's not good news for the fire situation, but the Arctic air is driving that wind Saturday, so it's kind of, you got to get through some bad before you get to the good when it comes to the fire situation. Now, temperatures are going to plunge. I mean dive Saturday afternoon into Sunday, but many of you along I-70, along I-80 will be able to have a relatively mild day Saturday, albeit a windy one, before the Arctic air plunge comes in late Saturday. Now, this is going to be big help to the Colorado fires. We'll show you that here with some slides coming on up. Travel impacts, it's not a matter. Are roads going to be bad Saturday night, Sunday, and Monday? They will be over a large swath of Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, Idaho, Utah maybe, western Nebraska, maybe into the northwestern areas of Kansas. A large part of this region will be impacted. Temperatures could be at record levels Monday morning. Now, recently it's been record highs. Now we're looking at record lows possible. This is where we are today. Everything is lined up. Here's that spoke. This is going to be the driver to bring the Arctic air with an A south into the area. We've got the big ridge building up into the Gulf of Alaska. So all the right pieces are on the table. That's why confidence is very high. By Sunday morning, that spoke comes down, rotating around that that Hudson Bay vortex of cold air. Here it comes. So by Sunday morning, the deepest Arctic air is really about here and headed south. Also, as we go further on, you'll see that low dipping further south into the Great Basin. So as we are, here we are today. This is where we are by Sunday morning. This is what the cold air looks like by tomorrow afternoon. This is for 6 p.m. tomorrow, and you can see the Arctic air is intruded into the Bighorn Basin. And look at this dividing line right here where the Arctic air is going to be, or the edge of it, by Saturday evening. So all of Colorado, the Great Basin, going to stay above average temperatures during the day Saturday. But that Arctic plunge has got momentum. And once we get into Sunday morning, look at that. Yikes. That cold air just really spreads and goes south. It gets over the divide. One thing to watch out for in southwestern Wyoming, there are going to be some really strong northeast winds as that Arctic air goes through the gap of the Continental Divide. So along I-80, Rock Springs, Green River to Wamsutter, going to have some strong northeast winds as that Arctic air gets blasted through the canyons of Utah. You're going to have very strong winds here as well pouring in as that cold air is squeezed through the gaps and pushed south and west into the region. Look at the cold air getting all the way down to Amarillo by noon Sunday. Temperatures by Monday morning. These are Fahrenheit. Temperatures by Monday morning, single digits. Anywhere you see gray, those are areas that may drop to sub-zero temperature readings. There's a -2 in Laramie. And if there's snow on the ground, and there will be, those temperatures might get even colder. By Monday, we've got a low all the way down into the Four Corners, kind of meandering all the way down into Arizona and New Mexico for a while. The high stays along and just off the west coast. So that's a cold, or let's say certainly a cool signature heading in behind the system for Monday and Tuesday. But the worst of the Arctic air is going to be Sunday and Monday. Precipitation showing up really well with this system. This is going to be precipitation falling today, tonight, and mostly Saturday and Sunday morning. These areas just continue to get snowed on, more coming. This is the band of snow that's going to be really important right here. This area of snow is going to develop as the Arctic boundary comes through. So you're going to see some pretty good snows in western Nebraska, eastern Wyoming. And look at this right here. Oh, wow, is that needed in Colorado? the Colorado mountain ranges are going to see significant snow, and on top of the East Troublesome Fire, the Cameron Peak Fire, the Middle Fork Fire, other fires burning in Colorado, and helping to put out the Mullen Fire for good in southern Wyoming. We'll take a zoomed in look at that here in a minute. Here we are. So this is where we're seeing the fire at its worst right now, and that's exactly where the axis of the heaviest moisture is going to be. There will be easily 12, 18 inches of snow in this area, maybe up to 2 feet of snow with this system between Saturday night and during, well, probably through most of Monday. Look at the southwest mountains of Colorado. These mountains there, the Sangre de Cristos, all going to get into the act. Look at New Mexico, going to get into the act as well. There will likely be some pretty good snow amounts in this area. There usually are in these situations where you have these Arctic fronts in the fall come on in. These are snowfall areas. Don't pay attention to these numbers. These numbers here represent snow if it fell at 32 degrees, but the snow isn't going to fall at 32 degrees. So snowfall amounts are going to be impressive and higher than these numbers show. But to highlight that area I showed you right there, and look at this bullseye. Again, those amounts are going to be higher in the Colorado, New Mexico mountains, even down in the Arizona area. Snowfall going to fall in the southern mountains of Utah and into Arizona with this system. By Halloween, just taking a quick peek out, we do have a cold front maybe coming in on Halloween, another one behind it, but I'm not going to spend any time on the long-range forecast, too much to talk about in the short term. Stay warm, be ready, hunters, stock growers, and travelers, and let's hope we can get some big help on those fires. See you Monday.